to eradicate black money from the politics, the government is also
Dr.
to
Amee
take some
Yajnik.
step. And also,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I get up to speak on this very important bill. But having listened to all the speakers, and especially the Honorable Law Minister, I wish that they'd gone back to 1949 June Constituent Assembly debates and seen the extent of the debate that had taken place on this particular issue of election commission. And the only statement that came out of the whole debate was that election politics, election machinery, and election should be completely out of the hands of the executive. There should be no executive interference, and this should be an independent, autonomous body. Having said that, sir, I come back to the Law Commission report of 2015, where exactly 2 lines were said by the Law Commission in the report, and that was that the Law Commission said that there should not be any breakdown of rule of law. Now, rule of law, which is meant in the democratic setup today, is that there should be strong institutions, a vibrant democracy, and all institutions should be independently working for the people of this country post-independence. Now, coming to the Supreme Court and the Apex Court judgment of 2000, in the matter of 2015, which has been raked up by many. And I've also heard that some of them have said that there have been selective liking to the Honorable Apex Court judgments and selective not liking of the Honorable Apex Court judgments. Sir, the Honorable Apex Court in a matter of 2015 said that there was a constitutional vacuum because there was no procedure which was shown in a particular bill by Parliament, no law. So there should be the vacuum, that vacuum should be sorted out. And hence this bill has come today, the 2023 which says that the Chief Election Commissioner and other election commissioners bill 2023. So why the necessity for this bill? I would like to make some observations which I have seen in the public domain, that there have been instances where enlightened citizens have written to the Honorable President of our country, pointing out that there seems to be a crisis of credibility with this particular institution. We have seen that there have been instances where intelligent people and intellectuals and academicians have written very strongly that this institution needs a robust mechanism of transparency, a mechanism that is responsible to the people of this country. And hence, you again come to a question, what does the Election Commission of this country do? So you can start from electoral bonds, you can start from electoral voters, electoral voter IDs, electoral rolls, and you can talk about all the dates and the schedules which are set by the Election Commission for every election, whether it's a Lok Sabha, Raj Sabha, President, Vice President, or state legislative assembly elections. But the most important part is the silent period of the election, where the Election Commission plays kind of a supervisory role where the code of conduct comes into picture. That is where the transparent working of the Election Commission becomes completely open to the people of this country. And the elections are meant for the people of this country, and this voting system is meant for the people of this country. And so when we are talking about the Election Commission of India's setting up under this particular bill, the moot question comes that there is not a set of laws whereby the Election Commission functions. There are some certain kind of procedures which can be said that they are replacing the the strict law or the wordings of the law. And these procedures need to be transparent. These procedures, if they are done transparently, then the accountability is seen, very visible. Now for this, the main and the thrust of the bill should be that the composition of the Election Commission should be such that whatever I have said should be seen to be implemented. And hence, when we come to the composition, we come to the part where the Honorable Apex Court had put the word Chief Justice of India, where the committee should be of the Honorable Prime Minister, the the leader of opposition and the Chief Justice of India. In this bill, you find that the composition of this is the Honorable Prime Minister, a cabinet minister, and the leader of opposition. So sometimes you start wondering why there is a question or an iota of doubt, because the cabinet minister, if it's of the ruling party, where would the transparency or accountability go? And where would this be seen to have been exercised under this bill? Why should there not be an independent and an accountable component in this kind of compositions? Sir, when you talk about the Election Commission of India, the people of this country and also the world, they're watching that it's a vibrant democracy. When I went to 1949, the Constituent Assembly debates, it was just a country that had become independent after a long rule of subjugation. And at that time, the framers of the Constitution wanted a very, very robust and independent and accountable election commission which would decide the fate of the voters, the liking of the voters, the intent of the voters to bring in a democracy, bring in some kind of a ruling dispensation that would only cater to the democracy of this country and build democratic institutions and see that this democracy becomes a vibrant democracy. Sir, the institutions are meant to be for the people of the country and not for ruling parties. The institutions are meant to deliver fairness. And if an election commission will not be able to see that the elections are conducted in a free and fair manner, in a transparent manner, then where is the component of democracy and where is the way in which the governance model is being shown or projected to the world? And that brings us to the moot question whether this bill needs some rectification, whether the bill needs to be looked into on several other aspects. It has been functioning for a long while, but as I have said that there have been instances, I do not want to pinpoint instances because suddenly a huge group of people will get up and start shouting, but will not understand what is the backbone of bringing an election commission of India in a way where it caters to the need of the people of this country, and that is the transparent mechanism, the rule of law. Books and books have been written on the rule of law of this country. That depends on the independent institutions. If a bill weakens the institutions, and we have weak institutions in place where anything can be distorted, then the functioning of the democracy cannot be said to be a vibrant functioning. And that is why when the Election Commission of India, which is the highest body, and the Central Election Commissioner, who will, I'm not going into the tenure and the salary and the period of the tenure. That happens in every other institutions. But the composition makes a difference because that composition will decide the accountability and transparency factor and the performance factor which will tell on the elections. Sir, when I talked about the silent period, nobody has touched upon that. But when there's a silent period, that is the time where the Election Commission has to function very strictly and has to be very vigilant, because if that code of conduct is breached, and when the voters are given that silent period to make up their mind where they want to vote, and at that particular time, when a particular ruling dispensation comes up with some kinds of statements that we would be doing this, we would be doing that, we have done that, and tries to influence the voters, this falls in the arena of the Election Commission. And as there is not a stringent procedure or rule or law, it is governed by its actions, and these actions are dependent on who is sitting in that particular Election Commission's body. Hence, sir, coming back to the Election Commission's regulation procedures and how this model code of conduct and parties is being governed, I think that is the main crux of the whole matter. So the Honorable Apex Court saw that there is a constitutional vacuum, and this has to go in the arena of the Parliament, and the Parliament can only make a bill or pass a bill and make a law. Hence, the Apex Court's order was that this should be the composition. But when the framers, the parliamentarian sitting here and bringing a bill thinks that this can be changed, it can be brought in a way where it is not seen as independent composition, where it raises some kind of doubt, and hence this debate, and everyone comes out with some point or the other. I think it's time that the Honorable Law Minister looks at this particular point of the composition aspect, because anyway the duty is going to be performed. You are in public eye, and I do not want to show what has happened in the past. I just mentioned a couple of them issues. Some of them are already pending before the Honorable Apex Court, where the Election Commission has been asked a question, and that depends, that pertains to several factors. Parties' money, parties' intentions, the way the party collects all the money, and how it is not transparent. All these are issues with the Election Commission. It's an administrative function, but yet these matters have gone to the Honorable Apex Court. We should not forget that. Of course, the functions of the legislative, the executive and the judiciary are all different, and the judiciary only interprets what is made by the parliament, and it is implemented by the executive. But here we have a body which also functions in a way where it interprets and executes both. So we have to understand that it's a unique body, and how this unique body has to be answerable to the people. In order to see that we become a robust democracy, we need to set an example by shouting,
Please
by
conclude.
making sermons, by talking about that we are becoming the world leader. That's not going to matter. What you are doing on the ground is the matter before the people of this country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Shri R. Girirajan. Shri R. Girirajan ji.